Good morning,
Good
everybody.
morning. Oh,
Welcome to the Sunday Comic Book Hangover Show. I am Nate, and I have a head cold. And I am joined by my co-host Eric of SideQuest Comics, and our guest today is Raph from Raph's Retro Comics. Raph, thank you for being here again. You hung out with the FOMO squad, and
absolute
now we're
pleasure to
asking you
hang
to
with
wake
you
up early.
Yeah, what a trooper.
Just backstage, Raph said, I don't know how you do this every Sunday.
Yeah, last night
Like
was a little
that,
rough.
like the Tuesday show, and as well, like I see you drop into like Alan's show, man, that is,
I
I wish I had
find
the energy. I wish I had the energy.
Well, we're going to talk about energy
Yeah.
and having a schedule and getting videos out because that's where my energy has kind of gone is that I'm doing the streams, but you are still consistently putting out edited videos and they look so good. And some of them you do a lot of research for to get your information.
Yeah.
So good morning to both of you. And Eric, thank you again for jumping in while Hagen is on vacation. I'm hoping we see him on Tuesday. I'm hoping he's back on Tuesday, but
he's
maybe another
busy
week. We'll see when he gets. Yeah, he's out there. He will be back. I got a couple messages like, no, Hagen and I are still married. It's fine.
Mommy and Daddy are fighting.
We are not fighting. So good morning, Brad Wellbore from Canada. Good morning, Chris, Condition Not Considered. Good morning to John, John's Comics with Friends. And there's K Munin. K Munin got beat today. He's been first so often lately. But good morning, K Munin.
I gave up. YouTube don't like me anymore.
There's my friend Eric. Good morning, Himbo. And good morning, Matt from Impressed. Thanks for waking up on Sunday to hang out with us, guys. There's Doug, the comic collector coach. Hey, there's Brian LCS, the local comic stud, creator of the Comic Book Community Awards, which all three of us have. Raph, you are a finalist, correct?
All in there.
Yep. In one category, yeah.
What is your category?
I
should have looked that up.
It's the big one. Honestly, I'm kind of embarrassed because I can't remember it now, but
yeah, I'll have to. I'm a terrible host. I didn't look it up. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, congrats on that, man. Well deserved.
Yeah.
Well
deserved.
Man,
it's like heady company.
Yeah, it really is. Like I'm up against Eric. We gotta fight.
Yeah.
Good morning to Dan from Dan.
I want to be Stallone and turn my hat around, Nate.
That's right. Crap! He's going over the top. I'm dead.
He's gonna get that tractor trailer, man.
Oh man.
There's John. Good morning, JSS. Thanks for being here. Mark's issues with Archie.
Yeah, these guys are all early with us.
They are. It's crazy. There's Michael. Just Michael. Going. A lot of people saying good morning to each other. Such a polite community. Oh my gosh. All the way from across the pond, there's Terry from Dead Man's Comic Cover Show. Awesome. Someone else who consistently puts out videos. Like I feel shamed by you guys with a schedule and like with the ability to just get them out.
I was really good this past week. I got
you were
Friday, and I got one already in the hopper ready for tomorrow.
Nice.
Oh, how'd that happen?
There's Second Floor. Good morning. There's our friend Justin Birch. Hey Justin, thanks for being here. There's my sweetie. Morning, buddy.
He got up early on vacation.
He did. Miss you.
Okay.
There's Stevie D.
Oh, nice group.
Don't tell our secrets. Don't tell our secrets. Hey, there's Comic Mike. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Mike.
Good to see you. And there's Mark from Legion. Thank you for being here. And Jimmy Walker giving Raph a congrats as well. So Raph, let's start with not the awards, but let's start with YouTube. how long have you been putting out videos for comic books?
So it's been, I think it was the beginning of April of last year. And I think I kind of mentioned this before. Like it's like the 6 degrees of separation from Lunch Money Mike. Like
Mhm.
I started watching his videos, and then, that led to kind of like Brandon from Mon Comics, Ryan from Colossus Collector.
Yep.
Uh, there's some of the bigger ones, like I think James Mint Hunter Comics, and
Yep.
like like Mickey from Swaggle House. So
Oh yeah.
all these great content, creators. I thought, maybe I should do this too, because I love comic books, and it's like just a creative outlet for me to do this. And so I I wasn't really sure what kind of like angle I wanted to take, but I, initially I thought I'd just kind of experiment and do a lot of like kind of different stuff. And then yeah, you know, once I started getting into like a rhythm, and actually I spent quite a bit of time also watching other YouTube channels on how to best kind of produce your videos, how to um the tips on thumbnails, on getting your videos out regularly, like the important first 30 seconds of your video, because you really want to get that hook and something that's interesting. And like uh, we have a very small niche kind of in the YouTube community, like comic book collecting. And it's like there's some really massive comic book channels out there, but they mostly deal like the bigger ones are like comic books explained, and those kind of guys, like they just kind of run through comic books and stuff like that.
Right.
Not
Yeah.
so much on like the hobby, the collecting. So I thought I'd do that. And as well, I don't really buy so many new comic books anymore. So I like a lot of my comic books like are older, from like 1990 and before. And that was kind of like my sweet spot of knowledge as well too.
Right.
So I thought I'd kind of work in that area, and kind of explore some like different topics. But I found that once, you know, if I have like a subject or theme that seemed to hit really well, I would kind of lean in on that a little bit, and then try some other stuff. But like I'm sure like you guys know, like you never know how YouTube's going to kind of.
No,
I still don't know.
no, I know. It's
No.
crazy.
It's
And Eric and I talk about, sometimes we'll have something do really well, relatively
Yeah.
for us. And so we're feeling excited. And then we then the next video that we put out will literally be the worst
Dead in
working
the
video
water.
you've got. Like on your little app, it'll say 10th of 10. Like,
You're like, really?
It's crap.
yeah. Like,
So
man,
yeah,
I remember like spending a lot of time on this one video on dinosaurs and comic books. I really liked the video, like
yeah.
because it went over like like good comic books that had dinosaurs in it. And I thought, oh man, this is good. I like the content. Who doesn't love dinosaurs
Yeah.
in comic books? And it felt like it's also an area that's maybe underexplored, and it just
Yeah.
totally
Right.
crapped the bed. And it's like, oh,
Right.
and it's
I
it's a bit
think
disheartening because you also spend a lot of time on this as well too, and it's like, and then other times where I did what I would consider just to be kind of like a one-off. Um, I did one on DC 100 pagers, and I love DC 100 pagers, but
yeah.
it's like, oh, I just got to get a video out, and I just want to show this quickly and talk about them, and like that did really well. So it's like, man, I don't know, but
that was a good video though. And those are that kind of goes into my next question with you and your videos. It seems like you have to do I know you have knowledge of it, but you've got to be doing outside research too.
oh
The
yeah,
two I'm thinking of in specific that I watched most recently would be the 100-pager one and the DC 78 implosion.
yeah,
The 78 implosion, that video is freaking slick, man. You've got like moving infographics where you're showing like the shipping process and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to know, like, how much research are you putting into that? Like, are you scripting it out? Or are you just like
Oh
making
yeah.
notes and going? But then when it's time for you to like make the video, what are you using to make those motion graphics and things? How are you putting
So
that just nuts and bolts?
some of the stuff, like some of the graphs, I just do them in Excel, like the Superman graphs. Like a lot of some of them are just like stock footage. Like there are websites out there that give you like the one with the truck going to like the store. I add some stuff like the comic rack and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some like there's a lot of free resources out there that'll give you like some like stock footage. So I try to use that, but the challenge with that is just like it's not always easy to find something that will fit nicely in. So
Yeah,
you kind of
I
have to
would
make
imagine.
adjustments. And
Yeah.
like as well as like, you know, you have to be careful about copyright and rights issues. So generally, like if you use like 5 seconds or less, it's considered to be kind of like um fair use. And as well,
Yeah.
if you use like trailers and stuff like that, you're generally safer. So like I use like the intro of like the Incredible Hulk. I just wanted to put that in there just because
Yeah.
like I remember that.
I
And
mean, I'm laughing because like there are no legitimate fair use laws like that. It's like an understanding more than it is like
yeah,
you can argue. There's no time limit or anything, and like just by even I think even technically like maybe showing comic book panels, interiors and things, that's technically someone else's work. So
yeah,
I think most of what we do is, kind of a little gray area when it comes to copyright. But yeah, like stock footage and things, you can pay for things, or you can just go screen capture some stuff on YouTube and cross your fingers and hope hope for the best, which I think is it's what I do, certainly. And I'm with
I
you. Like
understand.
it's a quick clip, right? Like I'm not showing a whole episode or a
Yeah,
movie, but
yeah.
still you could get dinged. Have you ever gotten a copyright strike?
No. And I think because I'm still pretty much a small channel, like in the bigger perspective of a lot of other channels, like
I'm
Eric and I
laughing
both
because
laugh.
I have it happen on my shorts when I use music all the time, and
oh
uh, I'm like, I don't care.
yeah.
It's
So
funny.
like music is a lot more
That's
difficult.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I only have one copyright strike, and it's because I used Spanish Flea by Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. And like after that, I was like, I'm never using copyrighted music again because they got
yeah,
me immediately.
and then like music, I think they're able to like detect that a lot easier than the video
Yeah.
stuff. And like as well, you know, I remember like was it I was watching like I think like Dave and Ryan like 35 Cent still 35 Cent Dave, and he was talking with Ryan on Colossus, and like you know and and Ryan was saying how like he got like a copyright strike on his Terrific Con video, which was super awesome. Like he did like last year. And I thought, oh man, that's crap. Like he did all this work and
Yeah.
really he wasn't using the video in a sense that he's like showing like the entire he did his own riff of that.
Yeah.
And like and it's
It
again it's
it,
not a
it was the
big
music
channel.
though.
Oh, was it the
Uh,
music?
yeah. His
Okay.
copy. So he used that because I used some of the same footage of the Avengers Assemble.
Yeah.
I cut all the music out.
Oh,
He
okay.
so his problem was because he used it was that Marvel music. And that's what got flagged. It wasn't even the footage. It's you just got to be so careful with music. And you're right. Like they
Yeah.
can catch that, an AI can catch that a lot easier than it can catch a video.
Yeah.
It's a lot
Yeah.
easier to manipulate a video.
Skynet's smart with that.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. So like
But
what's kind of like that 1978 video that I actually been working on that one for months. Cause like I'll let an idea kind of like I don't know, like germinate or whatever you want to say. And that one it was originally just like a very short video, but then I just kind of added to it, and then it finally came together. So, and it's like
Right.
I had I had no idea how well it would do, but it seemed like the 1970s stuff that I do, and I think a lot of it has to do with the if you look at your Google Analytics, you can kind of see who watches your videos. And the people that watch my videos are like my age group or older.
Mhm.
They're 98% male. It's like, where are all you women out there that are
Mhm.
interested in comics? And so,
Hold on. Okay, there she is.
There's
There's the
one.
one girl that watches our videos.
There's one more in our chat. She
Oh,
just
is
popped
there?
up.
Hey, good morning, Christina. There we
There's
go.
our two.
There's 2%. But everyone else that watches our videos, come on, we got to get some more diversity in here.
and yeah, and I just it wasn't like this before because in the 40s and 50s and even in the 60s it was still a fairly close split. It might have been like 60-40 or even like 55-45, but now it's yeah, like
Well, but they also they actively
going down the
tried
deep
to
circle.
target that market. There were books for, girls, and
Yeah,
and I also think of like in Japan with manga, the way that they try to have something for every demographic.
Yeah.
yeah,
They're not trying to make everyone read the same thing. They're trying to have something for everyone to read. And
yeah.
that's probably where comics are failing the hardest right now, is they're not super diversified in terms of the audience. It seems like they're all kind of going for the same audience a lot.
Well, I think right now with manga being a lot stronger here,
Yeah.
if you were to look at that, you know, kind of like group of readership, there definitely is a lot more female readership, which is good. But for like the Marvel DC stuff, yeah, I can totally see why they're not interested. So,
Yeah. I
they're
there's a couple longtime comic collectors on this panel right now who are struggling with Marvel and DC. Like, it's not always easy to pick some of those books up. It's more about tradition and character than it is, ooh, I really want to read this.
yeah, it's and yeah, I mean, like when I was actively buying a lot more new stuff in the 90s, a lot of it was like force of habit as well. Even though
Hmm.
like a lot of the comic books in the 90s were garbage, you know.
Are you sure?
Oh man, you know,
So
it's not to say that there weren't good comic books, but there was a lot of just
As I kick the short box under the desk a little bit more.
um yeah, so like I think I talked with Kate about the new Supergirl run. I'm just not in love with it. I'm not digging it. I really like the character. I liked the first issue, and then after that, and I don't know exactly, and maybe it's not for me. Maybe it is more
It's not for
appealing to
you,
a
Nate.
female audience, and that's okay. It,
It's
it
not
doesn't have
for
to
a
be.
40-something-year-old male.
Yeah, doesn't have to be. But if they keep putting pictures of Streaky the Super Cat on the variant covers, I'm going to keep
Oh,
buying
God,
it.
yeah.
So they do know how to get me.
Well, see, and that's why I'm still reading it. I understand that it's not necessarily written for me, but I like the art, and I like the
Mhm.
character. So I am going to buy it to see what they do with the character. But yeah, it's hard to keep getting it, as we said.
Yeah, well, see, I talked about this with Kate. She's like, yeah, it's not for me either. Like,
Oh,
neither
man.
of us are really enjoying it, and we're both huge Supergirl fans.
Yeah.
I do want to highlight here, because JSS is right. If you're not, these are, I don't know Nearing Nerdvana. I need to check that one out. But Karen's Pages and Gotham and Glam and Kate
yeah,
are 3 channels that I am definitely subscribed to, and you should be as well. They all do, a really good job with their channel. But again, like, I like to hear from, I don't want to hear from just a bunch of old dudes about the stuff they collected in the 90s. I lived that, I want to hear and again, like Raph, you just being in Canada, is different enough. Like your experience, like knowing what you're into, that's what I like to watch, is whatever it is that people like to collect and get their perspective. So yeah, if there was another like 48-year-old dude from Indiana with a channel, I'd probably watch it, but not as much as others.
So like,
So you've only been doing this for a little over a year.
yeah, a year and
a couple of months, year and a half.
Wow.
year and a
I
half.
mean, that's
little more than a
amazing,
year
man.
and a half.
Because I mean, I started right around the same time, and you're smoking me in terms of subs and videos, and yeah, you've had a lot of success.
Yeah, like it's sometimes I like I'm really happy. I'm really pleased. Like in terms of like how well as like well I think I always make sure that I reply in the comments or at
Yep.
least like acknowledge
Yep.
comments. I think that's really important to at least, you know, talk with the people that watch your videos. Um
Absolutely.
that's and you know, it's there's I always there's that 1% improvement rule that I try to apply. Like,
Yeah.
what can I always do better? And like, it's so funny because like sometimes I get savaged for my audio in my videos because for the longest time I just used the mic on my camera, and I tried experimenting with other mics, and it's like, and some of them just it becomes more of a hassle.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, you guys remember the game like Rock Band or Guitar Hero or whatever? So I had like a USB mic from there, and I thought I would try using that
My gosh.
and sync the audio, and it's like, and that mic is garbage, and
Yeah.
it's like it was slightly better, but the amount of effort it took to sync the audio and like, of course, not all the audio captured was good. It was just too much trouble. And so I finally broke down for a mic that's specific to that camera, and I just started using it a couple weeks ago. But like, always look for like that one area where you can kind of do work in.
Yeah.
And so that like that 1978 video, I really kind of pushed more boundaries by using other like video clips and little animations. And I really wasn't sure. Like I put a lot of like data, statistical math information. Now I was gonna wonder like, are people gonna fall asleep when I like talk about this kind of stuff? So, but a lot of people like that stuff. I guess because like a lot of us are like I don't know, math nerds. I don't like comic book nerds.
You're right. There is a lot of, I mean, that's kind of fits in with the nerd culture a little bit.
Yeah, they're
So
curious about this kind of information. So
data. Some people like just plain data.
yeah, yeah.
They really
So,
do.
but it's weird because like that one really took off well, and then I did a follow up for 1982, which I thought people would be as interested in, and it's like, nope. It did okay. Like
I
it did
know.
fine as far as my other videos do, but like it's like 15% of what the previous
Yeah.
video did. So it's like,
You
whatever,
just look
man.
at those stats and yell, right? Like, what do you want? That was the same thing.
Yeah. So I did notice though that it seemed like the one like really important stat if you're like doing this YouTube stuff is the audience retention. So
Mm.
YouTube, like, and I'm sure you're well aware, they have like too much information. Like
Oh
you
yeah.
can go so granular in terms of the information they provide. And if one of your videos has like a high audience retention, like initially, like 50% above for people watching the entire video, then it'll
Right.
get more
Yep.
impressions, which will lead to more views, and then that cycle will keep on going.
Yeah.
But
I can
again,
always I'll look like the day after I post, I'll look and see what those stats are. And like that's where I am now is like I just look at that first what like you just said, that retention number, and I can tell, okay, I know how many views this is gonna get based on seriously, like based on
yeah,
that 24 hours later, because once it goes below that 50%, they kind of stop pushing it as much. It'll,
yeah,
it doesn't get the bigger impressions. But that's where like I try not to do that too much. I mean, I'm not going to say I don't. I think anybody does, because we're looking for, like you said, that 1%. Where can I improve or whatever? But I've started to decide that, like, I have no idea how to interpret all that data and do it correctly, because every time I do, I tank. So I think I'm going to try to, like, still just do things I think are interesting, and hopefully people will come along for the ride, because otherwise, if I'm trying to chase what YouTube thinks people want to see, I'm not going to.
You're going to drive
do a
yourself
good job.
crazy. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And then it's not as fun. Then that's when it becomes a job.
Yeah.
Yes. Because this is fun. I mean, you don't do this professionally, right, Raph? You have a job.
No, yeah. Yeah.
Making the big bucks.
Although my wife would probably say that I'm spending way too much time on this stuff, and she's probably right.
Yeah. But it is time consuming. That's
Yeah.
the reason why you want it to do as well as you can. You know,
Yeah.
it takes time to make a video. It takes time to edit it and to do things. So it really is devastating when you when you see nothing happening on something you worked a long time on, and that you were really happy with. So it sounds like maybe your 1982 video kind of felt like 78 went through the roof, and I'm going to do these retrospectives. Nope, I guess I'm not. But you should still do what interests you, because that's why people came along in the first place, man.
Yeah, and I'm sure, like, there's certainly some videos that I did. Like, I did a video on, like, Golden Age romance comic books, and I kind of knew it wasn't going to do very well, right? But I still wanted to do it, just because there are definitely a lot of, like, areas in comic book collecting that really deserve to have maybe more information out there. And there are some channels that I watch do spotlights on, like, Golden Age superheroes that are just hilarious, because it's like,
Right. Oh yeah.
who thinks of these crazy ideas? Like, some of the stuff that came out in the 40s and 50s, it's like you just kind of wonder, like, oh man. But you don't want this kind of stuff to get lost, and you also want to hopefully generate some interest as well too in some of these comic books. So
with Madam joining the chat, we're up to 3% now. We're almost at whole milk levels of women here, people. We're doing it. Yeah, I really like the way that, so you said you write everything out that you're going to do, kind of like a documentary for your long form?
Well, I would say, depending on the video, like the 1978 one was definitely heavily scripted. But like that 100-pager one, maybe 30% scripted.
Okay.
And then I was just kind of like talking as I showed stuff. So it kind of depends on the video. So the more, I guess the more ones that are structured, I will script a lot more. But I'm generally working on like 4 or 5 ideas at one time. So I'll have like 4 or 5 video ideas going, and then I'll revisit them. And sometimes, so when that 1978 video did really well, I thought, okay, I gotta, like, keep going and go to, like, the next interesting year. But then, just to keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
But like other stuff, I'll revisit. And sometimes, like, I've actually even made a few videos that, after editing and putting it together, I'm going, oh, this is just garbage, or I just don't like it.
Yeah.
It's like, I spent, like, I don't know how many freaking hours working on this stupid thing, and it's like,
have you put a video in a drawer before and just ignored it? Like, said, nope, I'm not putting this one out?
Yeah, I did one on grading comic books, right? Because I thought, oh, but I just sounded like an ass. Like, like I just sounded like I just didn't like how I presented the information. So, and I spent a lot of time, and who knows, I might come back to that one day, but
I have noticed, I've got 2 or 3 videos that I have made that I just refused to finish and put out because, like you said, like as I was watching it, the way I was presenting, I was just like, this is. I'm not. I don't know what it is, but I look like a jerk, or I look like I'm not having any fun, and that basically comes from what you had said, Eric, where I had forced myself like it's a job. Like I've got to get a video out next
Yeah.
week and I'm not ready
Yeah.
for one, but I'm going to do this anyway. And when I force that and I'm not having, I'm not having fun, I'm doing it because I want to fit my schedule. That's where things like fail for me. Like
Yeah,
I don't know.
You got to be interested in what you're talking about yourself. Otherwise, who's gonna watch it and be interested if you're like just coming off of that? You're
Right.
like, oh, him and that. If you're not enthused by it, nobody else is gonna be enthused by it.
I want to pause real quick here. My friend Mark from Mark's Issues with Archie Comics, he just hit 55 subs and had comments on old videos, which is always fun. Like when you wake up and see like, why did someone comment on that? That's from so long ago. If anyone with a wrench could drop a link to Mark's channel, let's get him a few more subs. I love Archie Comics, and he
I see one.
exclusively looks at Archies and talks about him. He has a
That's
really good
cool.
collection. So please go check him out if you like Archie Comics. And if you don't like Archie Comics, go check him out because he'll make you like them because they're
I
good.
almost bought an Archie comic this week. I was looking at that Sabrina one.
I buy an Archie comic almost every week because I can find them in a 50-cent bin or a $1 bin and they look funny and I grab it. But I have been getting the facsimiles of the new ones that have been coming out. And that's what I read last night. One that I hadn't read, the Jughead Monster issue.
Oh, yeah.
I picked that one up not too long ago. And it was fun, but there weren't monsters in it. It's just on the cover. what a ripoff.
Oh,
Good thing I like Jughead. What mic did you end up getting that you liked? I'm just curious.
Here, let me just grab it.
Yeah. I have gone to this little DJI mini thing.
I want to get one of those, Nate.
This is the camera that I use. And this is the mic that's actually specific for this camera.
Okay.
And so it's just nice having this, not having to deal with like separate input, items, and it's like anything that can help you save time is good.
Yeah.
And
what model is your camera?
It's a Sony. Honestly, I think it's a.
Mine's right on the top of the little flip screen there on the back. Your mic might be covering it up.
It's an I've got this AX6000.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a nice camera. I got the baby version of that.
So it's funny
the ZV1 is what I use.
Here's mine.
But that's my point. Is like you don't need big fancy equipment.
No.
Most people just do this with their phone, and these little Bluetooth microphones, like I picked up, these will work with your phone. You might need an adapter, but you don't need, and you don't even need that. Like if you're in a quiet enough space, you can just record. Plenty of people do.
Mm-hmm.
And the camera is actually my wife's because she bought a nice camera for a hobby thing, and then she stopped using it, and it's like, all right, I'll just use that. I guess it's the best thing. It's like,
hey, Jim. I think I bought my camera under the guise of I wanted a decent enough video camera for family things or whatever. Whenever the phone, when I want something a little better than the phone, but ended up just using the phone.
You don't want the big shoulder held camera like the good old days.
Oh yeah, it's a whole Betamax on the inside.
Yeah.
We always had that growing up, man.
The problem as well with my setup is that I actually live really close to the subway. So when things are quiet, you could actually hear the rumbling. And then the regular mic on this camera would pick that up.
Wow.
And it's really annoying.
It's almost too good.
Because I would shoot and I would have to pause for the subway to go by and then then I can continue again. And so this mic actually filters that out. So that alone to me was worth it. And I wasn't sure if this mic was going to be able to do that, but it does. So that was a definite plus. But anything to
Hey,
help save
morning,
time.
Jason.
The only issue about this camera, and I don't know if you have the same issue with yours, Nate, is that it just overheats when you shoot video.
You know,
Hmm.
I have heard that from Dave from Still Only 35 Cents. I think he may even
Yeah.
have the same model as you. Mine's just not fancy enough to overheat. It does get hot, and when it gets hot, it
Yeah.
starts chewing through the batteries, but it doesn't turn itself. I've never had my camera turn itself off because it overheated, but I have heard that with a lot of the Sony models.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like,
know Dave's had that issue where he's been
Yeah,
using it and it shuts off on him.
yeah.
right.
Yeah. Or what it does is it kind of it'll clip the video and then it'll keep on recording, but the audio and the video will be offset. And so it's like,
Oh,
oh, that's a
that's
pain in the ass
terrible.
too. So,
Yeah, it is.
I can get like a good 20 minutes and then I have to shut it down and let it cool down and then
Wow.
I could record again. But generally for the length of the videos that I do, it's totally fine. It's totally fine.
So what's your editing process? What do you use? What software are you using to edit?
So I use Adobe Premiere Pro. So
Okay. Yeah.
I have like Creative Suite, and I've been using I'm familiar with most of the Adobe products because at work that's what I use, and I've been kind of using it on and off for the past, I don't know, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
But just very basic stuff for a long time. It's only now that I've become better at using it. Like I thought about like learning or taking the next step and learning like After Effects and stuff like that. But it's like
Yeah.
for the stuff that I do, this is it's still like more tool than I need. Like I'm sure if you know, I know there's an open source one or like a cheaper one like DaVinci
No,
that I'm
yeah.
curious about.
Yeah.
That you know, but like
I
Premiere Pro is really good.
like if you want a really robust editor, I think your two choices are Premiere or DaVinci.
Yeah,
And I figured you had to be using one of those just from, what I've seen with, like I said, you're putting in infographics and things, but yeah, Adobe costs money, is the bottom
yeah,
line. Like you have to have a subscription, and DaVinci has a free version, and they both work very similarly, but DaVinci was a huge learning curve early on, because you go clicking around in there, there's so much. But
Have you used Premiere Pro before?
yes, yeah,
Okay.
I've got a background in video editing, but my
Okay.
problem with Adobe was like I had an old paid version that I used like for the longest time. I don't remember what it was, but then they swapped to that subscription model, and I
Yeah.
was still using the old stuff that I had, but it was getting so out of date and so clunky, like to even render videos and things that
Yeah.
I looked into the subscription, but I was like, man, I'm going to try this DaVinci for free, and it was a steep learning curve, but I just one thing at a time. So I just
Yeah.
learned like one thing at a time for how, and whenever at one point I wanted to do a green screen effect, I just watched a little tutorial and figured it out, and if I want to do it again, I'm gonna have to go watch that same damn tutorial because I'm not gonna remember what I did. But yeah, I loved Adobe. It really just came down to money.
Oh yeah. 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 It's expensive. Like it's
There we
not
go.
cheap.
Lau says, I've not heard of OpenShot.
Open shot.
And I do, yeah, motion graphics is that's where I know DaVinci is really good, but they don't use like a Photoshop method where you can see what you're doing with layers as you work. It's all these things called nodes, which is like programming, and it's like the matrix. And everyone who can do it says, once you learn it, it's easy. I'm like, yeah, but I have to learn it. That's hard.
It's I'm sure you guys have heard of like VO2, VO3 with Google with the AI like video rendering. Like
Yes.
it's freaky how quickly that technology is just accelerating and like well, I don't know like what is our video space going to look like in the next year with all that
Well,
stuff
there are
getting
a lot of these AI videos I see come out, and even the ones that I can tell somebody put most of it together, but then there's like this AI narration, and they just kind of drive me crazy. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to this comment here from Jimmy Walker. He says, I like videos that feel like a conversation I would have at the checkout counter talking to the owner about comics. Like,
Yeah.
this is a hobby where you're by yourself. Like, you read a book by yourself, and then you're looking around for somebody to talk to. And if you're lucky, you've got a friend or two who will talk to you about it. But most of us in this space, we have to go outside. We got to go to the internet. And when you do that, if you're watching a video, you want to talk to a person. I don't want to listen to a robot. Somebody could take your script for that 78 video, put it, robot it up and do their version of it. It wouldn't be half as interesting, because it's not something that, it's your presentation that makes it fun, and engaging to watch. At least to me. I can't stand this AI crap.
Yeah.
Eric sent me a video the other day, and he's like, you got to watch this.
You got to see AI Spock in Disco.
I saw it. I just can't stand it. I got like a minute into it. I was like, I'm out. It's fun. I just can't. I don't like all. Yeah, here we go. AI narrator voices are trash, and they take away from the video, even when it's well written. And I get that. There are people that I see who say, I've got this video, but my voice is terrible. I don't want to narrate my video. I'm going to use this thing. I don't know. Go on Fiverr and hire somebody. I'll do it for $10. I'll narrate all your videos.
In the past, I always get my wife to do it, because it's such a difference from my, deeper voice to get her voice that's is different, So there's that separation, and you don't want the separation to the point of the machine talking, because there's no emotion or feeling in that. It's just regurgitating what you typed in there for it to say.
It's still fairly obvious, but I think in 6 months down the road, it's going to be a lot more difficult to tell. And that's what I think is going to be kind of scary.
It's come such a long way. I mean, surely everyone remembers that first AI video of Will Smith eating spaghetti, which is like one of my favorite things of all time. No, I'm going to have to find it. Uncle Phil it's so funny. But I can get behind AI when used, like my friend Hembo here says, using Fran Drescher's nanny voice to talk about Frank Miller's Batman. See? Me and Second Floor are there.
Oh, my God.
So the punk rockers had taken over Gotham. Like, I can't do Fran Drescher. Yeah, I'm with you. I think if we let it will be bad. Like, AI will just be everywhere, taking over the space, because it can do it so much faster. It doesn't have to go to work and spend time with its family and shoot the video. And like, it's just stealing all that stuff from the internet. So I hope that it kind of gets reined in. I have definitely seen less in my personal feed on YouTube, and there were a lot for a while, but I feel like it got very lessened recently. That I could even tell by the thumbnails sometimes, and they weren't necessarily AI thumbnails. It was just, they all kind of had this like mass produced look. But I just don't see as many of them anymore.
I think like, well, it's interesting because, having like, what do we call these, like headshot videos, like, where you have a person like talking and making that connection is really kind of important. But it's also on the flip side, I've also learned that not everybody likes that kind of stuff as well too, like the talking head videos. I think one of the funniest comments that I received is like, it's like, dude, why do you keep switching back from your head and then to whatever your covers you're talking about and all that stuff. And it goes, it's like, you're not an ugly guy, but I don't want to see your big honking head all the time. And it's like, oh geez. And it's I came to realize that if you look at your analytics, like more than half of the people that watch my videos watch it on TV. Mm-hmm. So it's like,
but that's that older demographic.
Yeah,
That's
if I got Raph's big honking head on my screen, like, you
More
know,
like this.
you see every single pore on your face, like
Wake up!
I, I can see why people don't like that. So as well, I've noticed like it's important to at least show who's presenting the content, but I've also moved away from showing too much of myself, but in appropriate parts, because especially if you're kind of doing this like these little kind of mini documentaries that I kind of do, um, to have to really mix up the content.
Yeah, that's mixing it up. I always
Yeah,
I started doing that because I figured it helps break up that stagnant camera of just staring at some dude talking.
yeah,
You don't want to do it too much, but you want that balance of, oh, let's break it up and let's get a closer look at what I'm talking about type of
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Like, especially in our day when everybody's attention span is like
Hmm.
zero. It's
well, I mean,
really
they used to make fun of, when we're all roughly the same age, but that MTV era of quick cut videos, and people would say to us, your generation has no attention span. Jesus, look at TikTok now. I
oh
mean,
yeah.
there's that I didn't watch it, that the Lilo and Stitch live action movie just came on Disney Plus. My son turned it on and I watched a couple minutes of it, and it is like cut, cut, cut. Like it
Yeah,
moves so fast because it's almost like no scene stays stable for more than 10 or 15 seconds, at least in
yeah,
the part that I saw. And I think it's because of that really low attention span of just going through these 15-second videos and going to the next one and the next one.
I remember the first time I watched like a K-pop video, and I swear no clip lasts longer than a second. It's like boom,
Yeah.
boom. Like it was to the point that it's just I want to throw up because I can't follow anything. It's like
And now it's that Grandpa Simpson moment. Like, I got made fun of for my short attention span, but now here I am and I'm doing the same thing. And what used to what is it? What I'm not with it. Whatever it was is gone, and whatever it is now is weird and strange to me. And I'm gonna look at my son and let him know it's gonna happen to you.
Oh yeah.
oh, I hope we're not
Oh,
talking too much about this YouTube stuff. Like but I
yeah, I'm always listen. I'm always interested how, because just like comic book collecting, making YouTube videos is also a very solo activity. So I'm always
yeah,
interested to know how other people do this sort of thing, and
it's
how they fit it in and what they use. And sorry if people are bored, but I'm not watching viewers dip. I think we're good.
I think it's really like when I mentioned earlier, like it's really good to always reply to your comments when you can, but as well, it's like you know, it's really good to get any constructive criticism from the and try not to take it to heart. And this is hard
Yeah.
because sometimes when you see those comments and like when the guy said like I don't want to see your face all this time. it's
Yeah. What are you supposed to say to that?
and so it's like okay, let me think about that. And it's like because on the most part, because as well I've received some comments that I thought might have been negative. And then when I reply, and they said, "Oh no, please don't take this in a negative way. It's just my thought."
Yeah.
So, and
Constructive
it's like,
criticism. That's what they
yeah,
called it in art school.
and it's certainly not an easy thing to process all the time. And I think another thing that's kind of interesting as well too is that your more successful videos will be the ones that get a lot more hate as well too, because
True.
once your video reaches a broader audience, you're going to capture
Yeah.
those ends where people will think that you're an idiot, and people will think that
Yeah.
oh this is like also super awesome or whatever, you know. And
I would like to give all commenters this advice. This is what I do with my third graders when we are doing peer reviewed writing exercises. You do a star, or I'm sorry, a wish and a star. So the wish is the thing that you think, oh, I wish your writing had this. It's a nice way to say this is missing, put it in there. And then the star is, I really like that that way you're ending with a positive. So tell us what, give us your constructive criticism, but then, pat us on the head because we're very insecure people. It's why we do this. Raph, I want to talk about comic books, how you got, like, what, not necessarily your origin story, but like, what is your, like, what got you into it, a character, a store? Like, how was it that you were like, yeah, I'm into this, I'm going to start collecting these books? How old were you? And like, how did collecting start for you?
So I remember going to a birthday party to my neighbor's house, and as a party favor, they all gave like a little baggie of comic books.
Oh man, that's awesome.
And like
I want that now.
like,
that's the coolest story I've ever heard.
And and like, there was a master in my baggie. There was a Master Kung Fu and Contest of Champions, which is like the first kind of like Secret Wars kind of thing, and that completely blew me away. Because I knew like Spider-Man and the Hulk and some of these other characters, but it's like it totally sucked me in. But the thing is, it's like, back then I didn't have any disposable income to buy comic books, so it took me a long time before I was able to read some of the follow-up issues. But then I found, it's like, one of my best friends in my neighborhood, because you go out, you play, whatever, but I didn't know he had comic books as well too. And like, it's like he had a neighbor who actually collected comic books and gave him all his crappy DC stuff that he didn't want anymore. So,
Hey.
so he had all these like beat up 100-pagers, like Superman Family, World's Finest. He had stuff like Prez. He had stuff like Rima, like, all this 70s stuff. And I just borrowed them, and I ate them up. And then, we would trade. And then, like, I found out other people I knew who had comic books, but it's just, for whatever reason, we never really talked about it.
Yeah.
And then in junior high, it went to the next level, because close to my school there was a what they call the paperback store that also sold comic books, and they had a lot of comic books, and they also had like a cheapy rack where everything was half off cover. So that's when I started like picking up cheaper comic books. And like, one day they had a whole bunch of 1970s Captain Marvel, the Marvel series.
Yeah.
And so, because they were so cheap, and I was able to buy like a fair run of them, like 10 or 12 issues within like a 30-issue run, that was kind of like the first series that I started collecting. And as well, I started buying some comic books off the rack. Like, at that point, Alpha Flight came out, like Secret Wars, like, I was buying some Spider-Man, but like, that's when stuff really started to kind of pick up in Marvel. Like, Secret Wars was
what year? So you started collecting like new books in the 80s and
83. Secret Wars was 83, but I got exposed to comic books in 82. And it took me a while to kind of find out about new comic books. And then, like,
so what was your buying? I've talked about this with other people, because you're up in Canada, for people who don't know. So you guys don't quite have the same, kind of convention scene that we do. Pardon me. Were you able to find places to go buy books aside from shops, or were there little cons that you could go to?
In the mid 80s, comic book stores started popping up all over the place. Like, so there were some like well-established comic book stores, like two that I've mentioned in my videos. One is the Silver Snail, and the other one is Dragon Lady. And there was like an area downtown, good morning, that had like 3 comic book stores within like walking distance. So like my buddies and I would like go downtown, and we'd like check out the different comic book stores.
That's cool.
And as well, like, in the mid '80s, like and like Nate, like this is one of your favorite period of comic books when they had that independent boom where they released all these amazingly bad comic books.
Well, Eric too, man. I mean, yeah, they were bad,
Yeah,
but God, did it give
yeah,
you hope, right? Like, if
Mhm.
yeah,
this can come out, surely I can do
yeah.
something.
And so like people were opening like or running comic book businesses out of their basements and out of garages. Like that's how that's how kind of big it was becoming. And then but there was a bit of a collapse, contraction. Then things started going crazy again towards the '90s, where we had all that, you know, the really crazy time when yeah. I actually talk about
Yeah,
that in
did you
my upcoming video.
did you bring, because you had mentioned maybe talking about 80s and 90s, did you bring books to show that
I
are did you bring
I
anything?
I brought a few like
Okay.
like this
Oh,
the
I just found that one too, Raph.
oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is kind of Rick Veitch's revisionist superhero comic book. A lot of people say this is the series that was the Watchmen before the Watchmen. I wouldn't go as
Oh,
far to say that, but it definitely, a lot of people say Watchmen is that deconstructionist, whatever, of a
yeah.
superhero. You break it down. This is like another vein, like another revisionist, whatever if you want to say. It's really quite interesting. I think that the covers are also really kind of cool because they all take like this riff of different
Remind
products.
me of wacky
Yeah.
packages. Remember those?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
but it's actually it still holds up somewhat well over time. But it was only like a 6-issue series, and I thought this was pretty cool. Like Epic
I've
was.
I, I've seen that in bins. I want to check that
That's
out.
where I ended up
Hey,
finding it.
Jason, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. You get a spider dance, my friend. So, again, the secret is don't use the music. Don't use the music. Hold on, I lost my place. There we go. Thank you, Jason. Very appreciated.
And I did go to a comic show a few weeks ago, Fan Expo in Toronto, and I did pick up some cool stuff. One is like the last issue of House of Mystery,
What is going on?
Oh,
and
that is
it's
cool.
it's a tough book, and this is also a Canadian newsstand as well too, which is even extra cool.
Dang, man.
Oh, what?
Whoa.
What is going on?
Whoa. Hold
Awesome.
on. Eric,
Twinsies?
is yours a Canadian newsstand or just a
No.
newsstand? So 60 and 75. Wow, man, that's wild. That is super cool. Simpatico.
Very cool. And my favorite book that I picked up was this.
Oh, that's
This
cool.
is
Very
Jetsons
cool.
#1, the Charlton run. So like the Gold Key run of this is can be kind of expensive, but the Charlton run is impossible, like impossible to find.
You're tapping
So
into my childhood right there.
yeah,
Anything
and
Hanna-Barbera, I'm all over.
so I
So
was really
was that expensive?
it was I want to say it ended up being about 60 Canadian, which is what like $10 US, like maybe 40 US. So the the price was really good for the book. Um, Something that I don't see. I was actually surprised to run into comic books that I wasn't expecting to see at the show. Like um, one other thing that I wanted to show was this, which
Oh,
is
yes.
an awesome Gil Kane cover, Mystery in Space. This is number 57, but this was from the same dealer that I got that Jetsons, and he had this one priced at like 30, and then 25% off, and then he gave me like a better deal on top of that.
Wow.
And
Don't
it's
you
like,
love when that happens?
yeah, and this was on the Sundays, so Sundays dealers will really give you a good deal, and
Yep.
if you pay cash, even better. So I was surprised to find, because this Fan Expo in Toronto has become more of just like a fandom convention, not so
Yep.
much of a comic book convention. But I was still happy to find stuff that I wasn't expecting to find, and as well, like, you know, if you the prices, like, dealers were giving you good deals on the Sunday, so that surprised me as well too. Because Toronto's not, if you go to a lot of the stores that have like a bigger selection of back issues, it's not necessarily cheap. But if you do, like, there's a couple of used bookstores in Toronto that I like to go to called BMV, that just price their stuff to move. So often, if you're lucky, you can come across like really decent stuff for pretty cheap.
That's cool.
Yeah.
See, at the Fan Expo, we have those down here too, and they are feeling much more like pop culture conventions.
Yeah.
But do you, I guess, outside of comics, are you a collector of any other things, or do you have other hobbies?
Yeah. So I really like board games. And I think, like you mentioned
Oh God.
before in one of your videos, you like board games as well too.
Yeah, I had a big board game problem in that, like, I would buy them because I wanted to play them and
Yeah.
could never get them to the table, like could never get people to play.
Nate, why are you
But
3 hours away? That's
I know,
you know.
I know. But yeah, I mean, Eric and I are both bored, and when you said board games and Magic the Gathering, I was like, ooh,
Oh yeah. Oh man. So, like, in the 90s, I was hard into Magic the Gathering.
oh
Like,
wow,
I never had any of the power cards, like the Power Nine, but
yeah.
I had full set of duels. I had a lot of, I actually brought some cool Magic cards to show as well too.
Oh,
Because in all right,
Well,
like,
let's do
so
that then, shall we?
when did you guys start playing?
Um, I started way late,
I
way
remember
late.
when it
Right?
first came out in
Oh
the
yeah,
college
okay.
dorm
So
room. We're all with our
Yeah.
starters trying to read that
Eric,
stupid little instruction book.
Eric, you're gonna dig these cards, especially
Oh my God.
because
I'm-
like,
What? Oh my God. What's going to be mad is I'm probably going to
Oh
see
wow,
something that I had and I don't have anymore.
right?
so I was in Korea for a few years
Wow.
in
That's
the
cool.
later 90s, and I still had my Magic, what would you call it, fetish. So I actually found like people to play Magic with in Korea, but I was able to get, this is when they released their first set, which was fourth edition. Lord of the Pit, you win, yes. Um, and so this was like their beta set. So I
Okay.
still have like I don't know if you remember this
Oh my God.
Royal Assassin.
I'd love that old art too.
I do
Yeah,
too.
and these are Korean, like, they call them like black bordered, but this was the fourth edition
My
set.
son would flip his lid. He goes after all that stuff.
Oh yeah, oh man,
He stole all my stuff.
Swamp Thing. This is Swamp Thing.
Yeah, what is that card? I have that one.
Force of Nature.
Oh yes,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like I always liked this because this is Swamp Thing, man.
Yeah.
it is.
Um,
Looks like a
and
swamp gorilla.
yeah, and like the Power White cards. This is Armageddon, and yeah, I actually wanted to talk about that. Like, I don't play Magic anymore, and this is the card that everybody hated.
Is
I don't know if
that
you remember this?
it's
What
well,
was
it's not
that?
Swords to Plowshares, is it?
It's Balance.
Okay.
So it's like it costs like one white, one colorless, and no, like there were no Korean duels because this is fourth edition. That was their first set. So revised never came out in Korea. But fourth fourth edition was massive. It was like a really humongous set, and there's also a lot of crap in like Wrath of God. And so I stopped playing, and the best art ever. We used to always make fun of this card. It's like, what is this?
It does look like one I drew.
And the last one I wanted to show was this was always like the big card of the early sets. Like it's funny because like back then the big cards like in were like Shivan Dragon, which is this, and Royal Assassin. And then once people started to realize that as far as like playability, like
JX
it's
is on it.
oh yeah, he's killing it. But I I sold all my really good stuff pre-COVID, which was a mistake. But our furnace died, so we needed the money.
Yeah.
And I still have I kept it, which is interesting is like I kept the stuff that the store wasn't interested in was because these Korean foreign cards, it's really kind of hard to kind of peg a dollar figure to these.
Yeah.
But they still have some value, but it's a much more limited market.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people who like to collect the foreign editions of the
Yeah,
cards.
yeah.
That's
And
like it's kind of a market now.
and like apparently Korean is one of the tougher ones. Like there's more Japanese and Chinese, but Korean and the Russian one, like the Cyrillic language ones are more sought after. But like I haven't played in years, like regularly in years. But I'm nervous because they're coming out with Marvel Magic.
Yep.
And I don't know if you've heard or seen or any of the cards or
yeah.
Or do you guys even play anymore or?
It's been a few years.
I have picked up, so like I pretty much went to just playing Commander. I used to go to like Friday night pre-releases or Friday Night Magic. I used to go to the pre-releases when new sets would come out. There were a lot of game stores around me during that time. But it kind of broke down to the point where I was tired of chasing cards. So I just started getting Commander sets when they came out, or like we did build our own decks too. And my wife was into it. We would have people over and we would play, but then, you get older and people have kids and it's just too hard to get together. But we still will buy like, I bought the Dungeons and Dragons. I bought a few of those Commander pre-constructed decks. The Doctor Who, my son was all about that Doctor Who, as Eric knows. And I bought the Fallout, a couple of the Fallout sets too. So like when I'm intrigued by a theme, I'll pick up some of the decks to play with, but I don't really build decks anymore. It's just, kitchen table for fun. I wish I would have got some of the Final Fantasies, but they're hard to find and they're expensive, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm worried about with the Marvel. Like if it's $80 for a Commander deck, no, I don't think I'm going to buy one.
Yeah. Like, and they're, like a lot of people are not happy about. I still follow what goes on in Magic to some degree, but a lot of people are not really happy with how Hasbro has just been milking everybody. And like I'm worried about the Marvel one because oh man, I love Magic. Magic was such an awesome game, and you're combining that with Marvel characters, and I'm like.
I know. And I mean, I will still argue like the things that I don't like about Magic generally aren't the game. It's the business and going to a shop and dealing with some of the other people who like to play. Those are the two. Oh my God, dude. Like beating a guy during a pre-release and he has a freaking meltdown because of it's a random draw game. You're gonna lose sometimes, you idiot. Like it's completely unpleasant, that environment,
Yeah.
So the game itself though, I think is like it's genius. It's just lawyer ball. Like, I mean, it's all if then statements and all these things that have to line up, and it's about order. For a nerd, it's just a blast. But but it's a very time-consuming hobby too.
It
It
is.
takes a lot of money if you're gonna do certain
Oh yeah,
things, so
yeah. Like
but yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen prices on those decks. I did see a card that is the Spider-Man meme, like the pointing meme where they're pointing at each other. And so that's gonna be one of the cards. Good job. That's funny. But I want it to be, those decks are generally when they release, the commander decks were always 59.99, which is still it's pricey, but it's 100 cards, you
Yeah.
know.
yeah.
Um so yeah, I don't know, man. The
I
the,
like
the
going
Final Fantasy
to
ones were like $80
I
at
like
shop.
going to the secret lair, and visiting
Uh-huh.
their little limited edition stuff they have, because sometimes they have some neat cards, and I've picked up some of the sets. Like they did a real Ghostbuster set or the Godzilla set,
The
just because
Godzilla ones were
it's
cool.
neat, thematic, and
Yeah,
fun,
yeah.
even if I
They did
never
like
put it, you know.
they did like SpongeBob SquarePants. I mean, like stuff like that. That's really
Yeah.
cool. You know, I mean,
Dice Masters.
Yes, I still got
I
a
play
tote full of those too downstairs.
Yeah, I have like an X-Men set and a Star Wars set. It was
X-Wing, that was
okay.
another one I used to play all the time with the little
I have a lot
miniatures.
of the X-Wing miniatures.
oh,
Final
X-Men.
Fantasy, or not
Oh
Final
man,
Fantasy, Fantasy Flight board game.
Yes.
yeah.
Half of
They
my
knew
board
how to
games are
get.
Fantasy
They knew
Flight.
how to get me.
Yeah.
Or Cool Simon. Cool Mini or not. I have I think every Zombicide board game that
Oh
came out.
man.
I was hooked.
Yeah,
Zombies, yeah. Dice, yeah.
I'm surprised like the Dice Masters didn't last as long as it did. Like it just kind of, and I don't know if it was a licensing thing as well too, because I know with like Fantasy Flight with a lot of their games, once the license expired or whatever, they couldn't
Yeah.
like I don't know if you played
yeah.
Battlestar Galactica, which is
I remember
an
that
amazing
one.
game.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's funny because once the TV show ran out, the license kind of expired, and they kind of reissued that game as a Cthulhu themed one.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called. It's essentially the same game, but Fantasy Flight, yeah, they really knew what they were doing in terms of like the board games.
They could put out those living card games I really liked. Like a lot of them scratched the magic itch without that
Yeah,
random element to it because
But
you
then they
were going to
quit.
get all the cards.
yeah.
But yeah, they nothing like the
I love the
Star
Star
Wars
Wars
one.
one, and they quit doing it.
Oh, it was so fun. That was my
Mhm.
wife and I's favorite. It was so good. But they quit doing it. The Arkham living card game
That
it's
was my wife's
okay.
favorite
That
one.
one
She kicked
and
my
the Lord of
ass
the
in it
Rings,
all the
those are both
time.
fun.
Yeah, those are good. And like, it's like the cooperative games.
Mhm.
Like not everybody wants to play competitive games, so
Right.
the cooperative games like that are good. Like Mansions of Madness. I don't know if you played that.
Yep.
That
Yep.
I got the original and the newer one that uses the
oh,
app, and we
okay.
actually quit playing the one with the app because it was kind of a pain to keep using the app. I just want the simplicity of the old one where it's like, here's the board, here's some dice, draw some cards. Yes, there's more
Yeah.
setup, but I got to where I didn't like messing with the app.
It's funny. Like so I used to be part of a regular meetup group um in our area, and so like every Monday I'd go out and we'd play games. But that kind of stopped after COVID hit,
Yeah,
and I think they want to start it up again. Um, but the funny thing, the
risk.
risk. I don't know, Jimmy,
Monopoly.
but
Yep.
but
I don't know Shadows of
That's a
Brimstone.
good dungeon crawl type game.
oh, okay.
Okay.
Um, and it'd be interesting to see if like the meetup groups start back up again because I've noticed it's been a bit slow in terms of like getting those people back together and like I like all kinds of games like you have your different camp like your party games, right, your kind of
Yep.
heavy games, your Euro, whatever you want to call those. um but it's funny because often now I'll just play more online because there's a lot of really good websites, like
Yeah.
Board Game Arena,
Yeah.
that have like these fantastic implementations of these games. And like Eric, like you said, like some of these games, like Mansions of Madness, my God, the
Yeah.
the setup and teardown of these games are
Yeah.
just brutal. So like
I mean,
one
I
one game that
have Twilight Imperium. Okay.
Oh God.
I have
wait,
I
which
have the
edition?
old
Which edition?
I have the third edition.
Okay.
And I've always wanted to upgrade it to the fourth, but I look at that box and I'm like, I have literally played this game in all the years I've owned it 4 times.
That's
So
still pretty good, you know.
it's pretty good, but it takes all day. It's
Yeah.
honestly not as complex as you would
No.
think. It's just there's so many steps, you know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
everybody does all those things. And it's a blast. We had a
Oh
blast
yeah.
every time we played, but it's like you've got to get 6 people who are like, yeah, I'll dedicate the time to it and I'll stay at your house all day while we do this to see who's going to win. But yeah, a game like that, like you can just never get it to the table
Yeah.
versus like if you have some magic pre-constructed decks, just go, you know, just get those
Truth
out
there.
and go. Like that's
Yeah.
you got that and a couple dice and a pad of paper, you're good to go.
Yeah. So it's funny because like
Matt.
one of the games that and so I used to buy a lot of board games, but like you guys, I'm sure space is becoming an issue. So and
Mhm.
these things take up a lot of space, like
Yep.
honking a lot of space.
And they're heavy.
And so I've really scaled back in terms of what I buy in terms of board games. But even like the last like bigger box game that I bought is Ark Nova, which is like a zoo building game.
Okay.
And like they put it online on Board Game Arena, and like my wife and I can knock out a game in 45 minutes. Whereas if I were to set this game up and play it, it's 2 hours plus.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know,
It depends on what you want though. Like, you know,
yeah,
my son is a little older now, and so a lot of these games that I didn't play back in, you know, because he's too little and it takes too long. Well, now he's got more interest and attention span. So some games have made it back to the table, and there's just the interactivity of being around a board game table, you know, is much
yeah,
different than being
Yeah.
online
yeah,
too. You know, there is a, like you said, I love games, period. I love
yeah,
board games, card games, dice games, video games. I like systems, but then how you're going to experience that is also like, you know, if you just want like headphones and online, like online gaming, that's cool. But like a family game night is worth the setup and tear down, I guess.
oh yeah. And I think like I think we need more of that. You know, kids, adults, everybody, like the face to face and like some of my favorite, most memorable experiences have been playing board games with other people. Um,
Yeah.
you know, and there was a period of time that we used to play the Resistance a lot. It's if you ever play
Oh
like a mafia or
yeah.
a werewolf, and like
I never could get into those.
no,
No.
but the way
Ours
some people
was,
lose their minds, it's just so awesome.
yeah. We played Coup
Yeah.
Okay,
a lot,
yeah,
which isn't in the same universe, the same vein. But that one, I liked Coup a little better because you didn't have the secret element of people who, you know, had to have a certain role. It was just everybody's lying is the thing with Coup. Like, I'm gonna do this because I'm allowed to, and you got to decide if they're lying or not. So like as a party game, that one was a lot of fun.
yeah. But like some of them do like wear out with you know
I'm
with the group
sorry.
that you play
So
with.
I said family board game nights worth the setup and tear down, and Michael says I would argue it depends on the family.
I
I,
I've often found like
that's true.
you really have to match the game type with the group of people that you're playing
Hmm.
because you know there's no way I'm gonna like you know say hey guys let's all play Twilight Imperium. You know it has to really be um with and that's I think where party games are a lot more accessible. Um, you know, and like with my sister, and when she brings her nieces up to visit, like I'll always kind of introduce them to like a new game if I can.
Yeah, yeah.
It's and then if they're interested in something a little more with a little more meat on the bone, then we can explore that. But there's there's a lot
So
of great
what
ones.
what what is
Well,
your like?
majorly.
I
Sorry,
remember
sorry.
that one. If you were allowed, like, if it was like, hey, this is you've got an open table, you've got people who are willing to play. Like, what's the game you would grab off your shelf to play? Like, what's the one that you really love? And I don't even
So
mean it has to be complex. Like, if you had the people, the right group of people to play with, what's a game you would want to play?
so my favorite game of all time is a game called Through the Ages: The Story of Civilization, and
Yep.
it's very dense, heavy civilization building game.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so there's that. But again, like the last time I played that in a real setting, um, because there's basically like three ages in the game. Like we got through two ages and it was like 4.5 hours. So we didn't even get close to finishing the game.
Yeah.
Um, but there's another game that um, called Eclipse, which is what they call these 4X games. It's a science fiction
Yes.
game.
Yes. I know that
And
game.
yeah, and so everybody has their kind of like science technology tree. Your ex- the 4X stands for like explore, extend,
Explore, extend, exploit.
and
Um,
exterminate or something like that.
Yeah,
yeah,
something like
I think
that.
that's
Yeah.
it. I think that's it.
So, but the awesome thing about this game is it like hits this kind of peak because everybody's building up all their
Right.
stuff, and then the game designer was, he did it very well in that you have this climax, and then all hell breaks loose, and there's a big battle, and like, but again, it plays really good with six people, but it's like a day affair. It's
Right.
not as long as Twilight Imperium. I think like
I don't think anything is.
No, it's
unless you play
so
those crazy
crazy.
war games like Advanced Squad Leader or whatever. But
Yeah.
um, and the thing with Eclipse, like with Twilight Imperium, there's a lot of negotiation, and not
Right.
everybody likes that.
Right.
Whereas Eclipse, it doesn't have to be that. You can kind of play however you want to play it. Whereas like Twilight Imperium, you definitely want to negotiate. You definitely kind of have to. Yeah. All right. See you later,
Hey, buddy.
JSS. But
Thanks for being here, man.
so Through the Ages, like civilization building game, is my favorite game. Eclipse is a great narrative. It's got a great narrative element to it. Like, you know, I think like games like Mansions of Madness that have like a really strong story element is can be a lot of fun. And I like for party games, there's this game called Time's Up, which is basically like you play with a partner and it's kind of like password. You have all these like either books, movies, like songs, whatever, and then you play around where you kind of have to have your partner guess. Then it gets tighter and then tighter, but it's so hilarious because people like do really silly things. Like that's another one of my favorite games, and that's I still play that when I can, like a lot, just
Hmm.
because it really gets people out of their comfort zone, maybe,
Yeah.
which is kind
Yeah.
of nice to see. You know,
Eric,
what
do you
about you
have
guys?
a
Like,
a personal favorite board game or like one that
um,
you?
I'm always a fan of the dice chucker games like Zombicide because they're
okay,
easy
Uh-huh.
to get anybody into it. There's not super rules and depth. It's like, oh, move, fight some stuff, roll dice, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Um, favorite game though is, I mean, for me, it's very thematic. Like I love Fury of Dracula. I love,
oh,
that hidden type of thing where somebody's trying to find me, and I always like playing Dracula because I can just run around, attack, run around. You can't see me,
Yeah.
that type of thing, and stuff like that's fun. And um, a lot of CMON games, which are dice chuckers, are kind of my
Right.
go-tos just because they're easy to get to the table, regardless of who I'm playing with. And they hit all my themes with the zombies and adventure and, the sci-fi type of stuff.
Yeah. I
What about you, Nate?
I think my favorite game that I have on my shelf is Race for the Galaxy, which is
Oh,
an older it's a card game, but it's a tableau game. So like as you're playing, and the cards are also your currency. So like what you're holding in your hand, you got to figure out what you want to play, and whatever you want to play, you have to pay for by discarding the cards that you have. So it's like
yeah,
there's this balance of, I mean, I want to use all these cards, but you can't. So,
Yeah.
and you're drawing new cards and you're building a big machine in front of you. And that it's a game that should be played with like 3 or 4 people, but they have a 2-player version, which was so cool because forever it was just my wife and I.
yeah.
And so we would play that constantly. And it's just it's not a super difficult game, but it is like it's hard to learn. It's not something you can easily teach. Like you were saying, Eric, getting somebody there, like if you sat down, I would have these 2 big pieces. I used to print out like, guides and things to help
Very
people learn how to play the games that I wanted them to play with me.
Like the
And people just
tableau,
look at
tableau
these,
builders.
yeah. People look at those lists, they're just like, oh.
Mhm.
But yeah, that one is like, even though that's one of the earliest games I remember buying, that's one that still like I would play right now if somebody wanted to play that with me. I like a lot of abstract games though. So like what is that one called? Azul.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
my wife
Yeah,
loves those ones.
yeah.
Santorini,
I
I think was another one.
I love deck builders, man. So like there's a
Didn't you?
Marvel. Yeah, I do. Or not Marvel. I'm sorry, DC. There's all these DC deck builders that Cryptozoic put out. And so
Yeah.
I have a lot of those. I mean, they're just, yeah, it's just those I feel like are a little more simple because they ramp up. Everybody
Yeah.
starts with the same hand of cards and you're buying new cards for your deck. So it makes a little more sense. But yeah, I like games like that. And you said Eclipse, I never owned it. I like big, stupid, heavy ones too. Agricola is one of my all-time favorites, and we still play
Man, that
that
is
pretty frequently.
You stress
such a
out the whole
punishing
time like
game.
people starving.
I know. I love it. I love it.
I remember like playing that for the first time. It's like, oh man, this is miserable. Like when people
Yeah.
are, because you want to do all this stuff, but you don't have
They
enough
have all
time.
these cute little drawings for that game too, and it's like, but you're a medieval farmer, like
Yeah.
you're starving to death. Oh crap, we had another kid. We need more carrots.
I love like Rosenberg, the designer of Agricola. Like,
Oh yeah,
I love a lot of his games. He
I do
has
too.
so many good games. But
He did
again,
Imperial Settlers, I think. No, that's the other guy. That's Ignacy. I don't know, but that guy, I like his games too.
Yeah, but yeah, but like so many good games. Like it felt like, although I don't play so many new games as much, but it felt like we were in a golden age of board games.
Yeah.
Like I'd never seen. There were just too many, and there were so many good games that it was always
I
kind of
think the
hard.
problem is with games, like I've gone to the board game shop recently. I don't see anything new that like is doing something new. Like
Yeah,
it's still just worker placement. It's still, it's still a deck builder. It's still whatever it is. And I have a good representation of all these different game styles on my shelf. So I just haven't seen anything that I have to go and buy because it is new enough that there's a novelty there, I guess is what I would say. A lot of the games that I see come out are just kind of, the last new game I think I bought was Wingspan. And even that's probably 5 or 6 years old at this point.
There's a
but it's
lot of
just,
reskins of that now.
yeah.
yeah, there really are. I like the birds. I think the art on the cards is awesome. And it's a very well-built game.
It's a beautiful game. And I
Yeah.
think what a lot of people like about it is the complete package is almost perfect.
Yes.
It's the artwork on the cards. It almost it feels like it's an educational game as well too, because of all the information presented. So yeah, it's a really good game. Like
it's a great game. I highly recommend people check it out. Don't be it seems a little heavier than it is too. Like it's
not
pretty
it's
quick.
pretty
Not that
accessible.
bad.
Yeah, it's pretty accessible. I think
All
the
right.
last game that I bought that I remember is Horrified is fun
I
too.
have
Yeah,
not played that, but I've heard it's good.
it's fun. Um,
My local library actually has a board game section that's
Oh wow.
pretty good. It's wild. We've checked out a
Wow.
lot of games from there.
that's cool.
Yeah.
But if you haven't tried it, the last game that I bought that I really like is Dune Imperium, and it's
Oh, yeah, I heard that
really
was
good.
good.
Like
Yep.
it does actually feel a bit different in that how it combines a bunch of different elements to it. And I wasn't familiar with the books, but after playing the game, like you feel like you're connected with the different factions and families
Yeah.
because they use like artwork that's representative from the recent movies. So it's like, and they have those characters. So
Jason?
it's a really good game. Like Dune Imperium, like a lot of it about it, it, it plays in a good amount of time. There's a good amount of player interaction, and there's a good amount of strategy, and there's the deck building element too.
Yeah,
Like
I've
Nate,
got the
like
deck building you like, Nate.
yeah,
Cool.
it's
Okay.
got everything. It scratches so many itches that it's really good. Yeah.
That's very cool. Hey, there's Brandon from On
Hey,
Comics.
Brandon.
Hey, Brandon. Well, it's becoming that point in the morning where I need to wrap things up and figure out what the hell this day holds for me so that next week doesn't totally punch me in the face. But before we do wrap things up, I always want to ask if there's anything, Raph, I do want to ask this. You put your videos out on a schedule for the most part, it seems like.
Yes.
They come out same time, same day every week, right? Or
Sunday 5 p.m. Yeah. So I always
okay.
so they say that you should give again, this could just be BS.
We can't, Rob. We can't go back and recreate this. But I promise you can go back and check it out. Good to see you.
They say you should upload your video, like give it some time for YouTube
Yeah.
to
Right.
I don't know, spread the whatever information it needs
I've
to
always
spread out.
heard 24 to 48 hours, and
Yeah.
sometimes I wait 2 to 4 minutes. I don't think I'm good at this.
Yeah, so I try to do that. And so it's and like I feel sometimes that it's like, oh man, I get a little burnt out, crispy in terms of trying to get this content out every week. So I wonder at some point if I'm gonna have to kind of dial it back. But it's like you always are you're fearful that, oh no, YouTube's gonna hate me if I miss a week or whatever. I don't know if that's it doesn't feel like that it's true for a lot of channels, but there's enough anecdotal stuff.
Someone else I've had good conversations with about
Yeah.
how the hell does this all work? Because none
Yeah.
of us know.
Because it does seem like if you have a schedule and then you screw up that schedule, YouTube's not going to like you. But I don't know. Apparently, it can go both ways.
But it goes back to that. It's supposed to be fun, not work.
Yeah.
Have
Yes.
fun.
Yes.
So you will have a video come up today at 5, and you will have a video come up next Sunday at 5. Is that what you're telling us?
Yes. So I haven't missed a week, and
That's amazing.
and sometimes if I know I'm going on vacation, like I will try to do 2, 3 videos in advance.
Wow,
So
man.
and like those are the videos that I'll just show my collection. Because that's easy.
If what Rob's saying here is true, that bodes well for me.
I really hope that's the case because like I don't know if I can do this indefinitely.
Yeah. It's
And like,
hard to stay on that schedule, especially
yeah.
with what you're not doing just a stream or just a point and shoot. You're producing an edited, finished product, which takes more time.
Research and
Yeah. Eric,
So-
you said you have something coming out this week too.
I
You
got
got a video?
new video dropping tomorrow. What is it about? It's something I haven't done in a while. It's a 10 for 10. So
Cool.
one of my kind of my old thematic go-tos that I like doing because I have fun. And then later tonight, I'm going to be on I Have Comic Issues for his live show where he interviews people of their whole process of getting into YouTube, what they use, that kind of stuff. Nice. So kind of a peek behind the curtain. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
He's Bryant's a nice guy. I was on there with him. So that be at 6 tonight, 6 Eastern?
6 Central. I
6
think
Central,
is what the time.
7. Okay. Very cool. Tuesday, FOMO Squad, we've got Rich joining us from
Big and Rich
Comics.
I was giving him a hard time last night saying how he strong-armed us.
He did not. Rich is a good guy. And then what? Next Sunday is I wrote it. Oh, it's Johnny. It's our buddy Johnny. Johnny's comic stuff. Cleaner and Presser. He's going to join us next Sunday. But yeah, any parting words, Raph?
No, just thank you. Thank you for. It's always fun talking about our shared hobbies. And
hey, we got into board games this morning.
Yeah,
I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, and I'm glad we can kind of extend the conversation beyond just comic books because there's a lot of stuff that we're interested in. I hope it didn't turn people away, but
I feel like that's what, like you were saying, Eric, like the show you're going to do today is like a peek behind the curtain at YouTube. And like, I've kind of looked at this Sunday show as more of just like a conversation with somebody that I have a connection with. Our connection is comics, but we're going to see where that goes and see what else, we're going to peek behind the curtain of not YouTube, but the person. And yeah, when Raph texted me, well, maybe we could talk about board games and Magic. I was like, oh, hell yeah, we can. I mean, I can talk about that. So no, even if it veered off, it's fun to me, and we keep saying it's got to be fun. And I'm interested in this stuff. We are more than just comic book collectors. Yeah. We're nerds.
Yeah.
And there you go. There's Outer Worlds, big fan of Raph. And I am too, man. Like I said, I really enjoy watching your videos. I love long form video essays, and yours aren't necessarily like long videos, but they're put together with that same kind of quality. And I just dig it. And if you have not seen the last two that I watched, which was the 100-page DC 100-pagers and the Implosion of 78, that one was just so good. And oh my gosh, like so many of those titles that you highlighted there, I'm like, I have that. Like those were books that I collected because I thought they were odd and cool. And then you find out that like that's part of the reason DC kind of fell apart was because they were putting out Beowulf and
yeah.
A lot of that stuff wasn't very good though. Oh,
no.
Yeah.
But it's fun to collect and read.
Yeah. There's I did read Stalker. It's a fantasy from the mid 70s with Steve Ditko and Wally Woodard. And it's pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Cool. Yeah. I have a couple issues of Stalker too, because I'll pick up anything swords and sorcery, Yeah. All right. Well, I like this. What a great way to end the show. Getting lost is the best part of any road trip. And that's today's conversation. We got lost, but we circled back around. So please sub up Raph. If you are not subscribed, you won't be disappointed. Sub up Eric at SideQuest Comics. Sub me up if I'm not subbed up. I don't want to be left out of this. Thank you for watching, everybody. And we will see you next week, if not before. Thank you so much. All right.
All right. Bye.
Rest of your week.